We will be discussing an important topic, that is desertification. We will be starting with desertification today, and see what these kind of environmental degradation and environmental pollution that we have started yesterday. It carries a lot of weightage with respect to prelims examination or mains examination, because the thing is, environmental degradation is a major threat for human survival also. The kind of global warming etc we are seeing, so these global warming etc is because of one of the factor, that is anthropogenic factor, and these environmental degradation, the major cause that we will see is human intervention or the anthropogenic factor or processes which is increasing the rate of this natural processes. For example, desertification. Desertification is a natural process, but the kind of human activities are there, these activities have increased the rate of desertification. And one more thing, very important, desertification does not mean the land has got converted into a desert. Desertification does not mean that the land or the area or the region has been converted into a desert. No. Desertification means it is a process, it is happening, aridity is increasing, right? So this thing is happening. If we will not put a check on it, if we will not take initiatives, if we will not take policy measures, then this area may get converted into a desert, right? So desertification does not mean the area has been converted into a desert. For example, we have seen ocean acidification. Ocean acidification does not mean ocean acidification does not mean that the water of ocean has become acid. Rather, we have seen that the pH value has been declined from 8.2 to 8.1. Still basic, but because 7 is the neutral, right? So the decline in the pH value of ocean water is ocean acidification. If it will remain unchecked, if we will not take policy initiatives and all, so it may have the pH value may decrease in future, and we can have acidic ocean water, right? So this is a process. This is not like the area or the region has become desert, right? So what United Nations Convention to combat desertification, in a while we will see about it, some facts, some points. UNCCD, in short UNCCD, United Nations Convention to combat desertification. How UNCCD, that is United Nations Convention to combat desertification, defines this desertification is, they say that desertification means land degradation. Desertification means land degradation in dry lands, and caused by anthropogenic activities. Or processes, right? So land degradation in dry lands. What we have to understand is what are dry lands. So to when we talk about and why this desertification is a problem, that we can see this desertification is caused by both natural factors as well as anthropogenic factors. But definition focuses, UNCCD definition focuses more on Anthropogenic activities. What are natural factors? See, natural factors are persistent droughts, or wildfires, etc. Persistent droughts, wildfire, etc. But main concern is anthropogenic activities. Why this degradation or desertification is a problem? Because see, what desertification do basically, it reduces the quality of soil. So decrease in quality of soil or land. Decrease in quality of soil or land. How this quality of soil, what is this quality of soil, and what happens when it gets decreased? See, the quality of soil is decreasing, means the quality of supporting vegetative cover is decreasing. Quality of soil is decreasing, that means quality of land or capability of land, basically capability of land or soil, capability of soil or land to support vegetative cover is decreasing, right? And what happens due to this? When the capability of soil or land to support vegetative cover is decreasing, what is happening is basically this reduces economic and livelihood opportunities. Economic and livelihood opportunities. And when this economic and livelihood opportunities are decreasing, that means this induces migration. And this induces migration, and this migration impacts whom? Impacts more on women and children. Impacts overall population, but more impact on more vulnerable people are women and children, right? Now see, when this decreasing in the quality of soil or land, that is capability of soil or land to support vegetative cover is decreasing, and hence it reduces the economic and livelihood opportunities, and hence it induces what? It induces migration. But see, when we talk about this decrease, how this decrease is happening, see, when the quality of land or soil is decreasing, that is, the soil erosion is increasing, right? Soil erosion is increasing. When soil erosion is increasing, basically it further reduces the soil quality. It further reduces the quality of soil. Further reduces quality of soil. Right? So soil erosion is taking place. It is reducing the quality of soil. So vegetative cover will decrease. Vegetative cover is decreasing. Vegetative cover is decreasing. Vegetative cover is decreasing. Now see, soil erosion is increasing, right? Vegetative cover, the quality of soil is decreasing, so vegetative cover will also decrease. When vegetative cover will decrease, then again the soil erosion will increase. And if this process continues, for a longer period, then this can make the area or land as a desert, right? This can make the area or land as a desert. So this is the problem of desertification, because see, the soil decreasing the quality or the quality of soil or land, right? Now this decrease in quality of land or soil will do what? Will reduce the quality of soil, and it will make soil erosion increased. It will what will happen because of the quality decrease in soil, that the soil erosion will increase. When soil erosion is increasing, this will support less vegetative cover, and supporting less vegetative cover will do what? Supporting less vegetative cover will again increase the soil erosion, and hence if this process is continued for a longer period of time and go unchecked, then it may lead to desertification, and it, it has the potential to convert this particular region into a desert, right? Fine. So what we can do is we can understand the definition of it. Now we can go to some factual aspect of it. For example, if you want to know that whether it is a dry land or not, dry land, and what is the definition of dry land, etc. So as per United Nations Environment Program UNEP, as well as United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, both, what they do, they calculate an aridity index. They calculate an aridity index. Aridity index. How they calculate this aridity index? Basically, precipitation divided by potential evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration, sometimes in simple form written as precipitation divided by potential evapotranspiration. Precipitation, you know, right? Rainfall and majorly rainfall. And what is evapotranspiration? Evaporation and transpiration. Evaporation and transpiration, that is evapotranspiration. Evaporation, you know, right? And transpiration is the evaporation from the surface of plants and grasses, right? So evaporation from, this is the evaporation, and transpiration is what? Evaporation from transpiration is what? Evaporation from the surface of plants or grasses, right? So we calculate what? We calculate an aridity index. This aridity index, if it is up to 0.05, it is up to 0.05, the area or the region is hyper arid. Hyper arid, that is practically desert. Practically it is a desert. Practically it is a desert, right? Up to 0.05. Now if 0.05 to 0.2, if the value is 0.05 to 0.2, then the region is arid. Right? If the value is from 0.2 to 0.2 to 0.5, it is semi-arid. And if it is 0.5 and above, then it is subhumid. It is dry subhumid area. Right? So that on these values we classify the dry lands, right? We calculate an aridity index, and this aridity index is calculated by precipitation divided by potential evapotranspiration, right? And then we classify the land or the dry lands on the basis of aridity index: hyper arid, arid, semi arid, and dry subhumid, right? Now some points related to desertification. One thing that we have understood, that desertification is a natural process, but what has happened due to anthropogenic processes or activities, that the rate of desertification has increased, and it is a cause of concern, right? Number two, see, desertification is problem for both. Desertification is a problem for both. Both means developing as well as developed countries. But since developed countries has some more capabilities with them with respect to technology and all, so it is more the developing countries are more vulnerable with respect to desertification. especially the Africa. Entire continent is vulnerable for desertification, right? One more point with respect to desertification is average per capita income decreases. Average per capita income decreases in these dry lands, or where the desertification process is little faster. The average per capita income is decreasing. That we have seen the economic and livelihood opportunity decreases, right? See, around 40% of this global area, around 40% of global area, and which is supporting one third global population, one third global population, 40% of world geographical area, that is land area we are talking about. Around 40% of this global land area, and which supports one third population, is facing the problem of desertification. Facing the problem of desertification. Facing the problem of desertification, right? So this is the reason. Now, if we talk about India, 29.33% geographical area is dry land or experiencing desertification. So dry land. Out of which, if we talk about states, number one is Rajasthan. Number two is Maharashtra. Number three is Gujarat. If we talk about, earlier fourth one was Jammu and Kashmir, when Jammu and Kashmir was a state, but now fourth is Karnataka. And fifth is Ladakh. Fifth is the Union Territory of Ladakh, right? So this is the information with respect to India, right? Now we come to an important point, that is desertification, factors causing desertification. Factors causing desertification. Factors causing desertification. Number one, the prime and the most important factor that is causing desertification is unsustainable agricultural practices. Unsustainable agricultural practices. Unsustainable agricultural practices and excess grazing of cattle. Excess grazing of cattle. Excess grazing of cattle. This is the prime reason for desertification. If we talk about the subpoints in it, unsustainable agriculture practices, for example, high use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Then we can also talk about irrigation practices. Unsustainable irrigation practices. Then we can also talk about monocropping. Lack of fallow land. Lack of practicing fallow land. What is fallow land? Monocropping, you know, right? Again and again growing the same crop on the field. Practicing fallow. What is fallow? Fallow is nothing but the land is unused for a certain period of time so that it can retain its productivity, right? So keeping land uncultivated for certain period of time so that this land restores its value or restores its productivity, right? Unsustainable irrigation practices, for example, water logging, etc. In the field, water logging is there, or using groundwater. Unsustainable irrigation practices, unsustainable, using groundwater, etc. So that groundwater table is also decreasing. Groundwater table also declining. Groundwater table is also declining, right? So these are the main reasons for desertification. Then we talk about some other reasons also. For example, unsustainable mining and quarrying. For example, deforestation and forest degradation. Deforestation, completely removal of forest. Forest degradation is the quality of forest decreasing, right? Vegetation cover is decreasing, soil erosion is taking place. These are the points when we talk about deforestation and forest degradation, right? Also clearing vegetative cover, if not in forest also, some small patches are there for vegetative cover. So these vegetative covers are declining for human settlements or animal settlements, right? So these are the reasons for main reasons for desertification. Now there is a convention that we talked about, that is United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD. United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, it was the idea came in Rio Summit 1992. So it is a part of United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, is a part of sister convention of Rio, sister conventions of Rio, that is convention, United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity. UNCBD, United Nations Convention to Combat, United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, UNCCD, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, and UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So these three are known as sister conventions of Rio because the idea was popularized in Rio Summit 1992, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So very famous, right? Rio principles are also there. We will talk about it later when we talk about global conventions and all. So these are three sister conventions with respect to Rio Summit. There are three sister convention on pollution also. Three sister convention on pollution also. Three sister convention on pollution. Convention on pollution. Also known as BRS Convention. Right? Stockholm, Rotterdam, and Basel, Stockholm, and Rotterdam, BRS conventions, right? These are sister convention on pollution. Rio sister conventions. United Nations Convention is a part of it because the idea came in Rio Summit 1992. This got adopted, UNCCD, adopted in 1994, came into effect in 1996. 1994 came into effect in 1996. This 1994, 17th of June, 1994. Since and hence 17th June is celebrated as World Day to Combat Desertification. World Day to Combat Desertification. So every year 17th June is celebrated as World Day to Combat Desertification, right? World Day to Combat Desertification. The 2024 theme was Our Land, Our Legacy. Our Land, Our Legacy. Our Land, Our Legacy, and Our Future. our land, our legacy, our future, our future. 2023 theme was her land, her rights. Her land, her rights, focusing more on women, because this desertification impacts people gender bias, right? So this was 2023 theme, her land, her rights. The convention is having its headquarter in Bonn, that is Germany. Bonn, place in Germany, Bonn, B-O-N-N, B-O-N-N, Bonn, that is Germany, right? The highest decision making body of this CCD, highest decision making body, is Conference of Parties, COP, Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties is highest decision making body is here, and this conference took place every 2 years. Right? In 2024, the conference will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. 2024, it will take place in Riyadh. It will be COP 16 or COP 14. It will be COP 16 to United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. COP 16 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Right? So this is the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. COP is highest decision making body, and when we talk about the membership of United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, we say almost universal membership. Why universal membership? Because 196 plus 1, so 197 members are there in United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. All 196 are UN members, right? UN members, and this one is as a whole, European Union as a whole. So 197 parties are there with respect to United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. India is also a party. All UN members, so India is also a party. But if you want, you can remember that Canada earlier left, then rejoined. Canada earlier left and then rejoined. So it's not an issue, right? So right now 196 parties there, rejoined. Okay. So this is United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. About India, I already told you, right? And this United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD target. This UNCCD target is there. What is target? To achieve. Target is to achieve land degradation neutrality, LDN, land degradation neutrality by 2030. So what is land degradation neutrality? What is land degradation neutrality? Land degradation neutrality is nothing but see, with the increased rate of desertification, what is happening? Dry land is increasing. So what we will be doing? We will be going for more reforestation and afforestation. We will be going more for reforestation and afforestation. What do you mean by reforestation and afforestation? See, the area where in the past forest may exist, but it has got destroyed, so we are again planting there. So it is reforestation, right? Where the area where in the past forest existed, now we are going for restoration, then it is known as reforestation. But an area is there where nothing like forest was there in the past. So nothing like forest was there in the past. If we are going for restoration, plantation and all, and if we are trying to make it as a forest, then it is afforestation. So reforestation, forest existed in the past and you are going for a restoration. Afforestation is no forest present in the past, no forest present in the past, no forest was there, existed, no forest existed in the past, but now we are going for forestation, right? So this is afforestation and reforestation. India also believe in this target, and India is also targeting land degradation neutrality LDN by 2030. By 2030. So this is the goal of India. Now what we can do for to prevent this desertification, desertification. So steps that can be taken, to combat desertification. Steps to be taken to combat desertification. Number one, you have already seen reforestation and afforestation. Right. One more that you can see. You can target the biggest cause. And what is the biggest cause? Unsustainable agriculture practices. So you can go for sustainable agricultural practices. That is judicious use of fertilizers, judicious use of pesticides, etc., judicious use of groundwater, judicious use of irrigation, the water for irrigation purposes. For example, if water logging is there, the salinity will increase, the soil salinity will increase, right? So these things need to be checked. See, whenever we talk about policy measures, etc., policy measures comes with three things. Number one, number two, number three. One will be the push factor. One will be the pull factor. And one will be the facilitative factor. What do you mean by push factor? If you are punishing something, for example, stubble burning was there. Stubble burning is a problem. If you are punishing stubble burning, you are pushing people not to go for stubble burning. For example, if you want to induce sustainable agricultural practices, then those practices which are not sustainable, which are harming the environment, those practices, if you are punishing, then that means you are going for push measures. But if you are making some policies which are attractive, for example, if you are going, if government is giving some incentives and all, this is attractive measures, that is pull measures, pull factors. So you are inducing people, you are influencing people to go for some measures, that is pull. And you can go for facilitative measures also. You can go for building infrastructure and all, so that people will automatically go there and practices those things, right? So this is all about desertification that we wanted to talk about. Now we will start with ocean acidification, right? We will start with ocean acidification.